Sawadee Cup and welcome to another episode here for the Funky Pod, Mindful Media and Communication. I'm your host. You know me by now, so no introduction necessary. So welcome back here to the Funky Pod. And hey, you see it in the title. We're talking about media, communication, and the beautiful game, a football love story gone wrong. What's that going to be about? Well, football fans, critical thinkers, all of you, maybe you even one in the same person. So, well, I hope this podcast is for you right now. Okay, so with the Champions League underway, and well, if you are a Liverpool fan, the Europa League is also underway. Hey, how's it going? Everyone is like feeling that familiar rush of the world's beautiful game back in action, right? Yes. But hey, amidst that glory on the pitch, and now sad music in the background incoming, there are some questionable values being communicated that, well, require a yellow, maybe even almost red card. That's right. So today we're diving into the dysfunctional relationship between media, communication, and football. And I'm not using the S word, American listeners, viewers, and so on. So why we love the sport itself? Of course we love the sport itself, right? The excessive commercialization and questionable messaging can't be ignored. So let's try to reconcile the fandom that we have with the needed criticism that's necessary. So time for some satire, maybe some messaging fouls, and maybe even searching for solutions. So lace up your boots, let's go, okay? Okay, here we go. So, and you know that in this podcast, I try to connect media and communication theories with then the topic we discussed, right? So let's jump into the first theory that you already know, cultivation theory. Cultivation theory, we discussed it several times on this podcast, says, well, the more content you consume from one source or with one goal, the more likely you are to believe it, right? So consuming consistent media messaging shapes social realities over time. Okay, so that's the idea behind the cultivation theory. You cultivate someone's mind, so to speak. Football coverage cultivates hardcore super fandom, okay, where supporters voraciously buy merchandise and live that lifestyle, that football supporter lifestyle. And your team put out 47 new shirts this year, the home kit, the away kit, the third kit for whatever reason, the Champions League kit, the 100-year anniversary kit, 47 different kits. You best buy them all to prove your diehard status. Here's a credit card. Just give me everything. And this cultivation, right? This cultivated loyalty that depends on this very excessive tribalism and spending for massive profits. You're not just consumers unless you want this inflatable banana mascot costume for $59.99. Come on. And this is also connected to one of the very, very, very basic communication theories, which is just the fact that group communication, we want to be part of a group. It's within us. It's inherently human, wanting to be part of a group. In communication theory, we talk about in-groups and out-groups, okay? Self-explanatory, more or less. The in-group, the group I want to belong to, the group that I belong to. The out-groups are the outsiders. And football makes it so easy because no matter of your income, your status, what car you drive, whatever, if you wear the right shirt, you're part of the group. We are one. And those are the others. It makes this so easy. Okay, and for this 90 minutes a week, or maybe then now with the Champions League and again Liverpool fans, the Europa League, it's 3 hours a week. I don't have to worry because I'm part of that whole thing, that group. Now this can be something beautiful, but let's not ignore the fact that it's also lots of commercialization. Like I just said, buy the shirt, buy the scarf, buy the hat, buy everything. You want to be part of the group, you better have it all. Okay. And another theory we discussed many a times here on the podcast also fits into this, the use and gratification theory, right? The use and gratification theory, just a reminder, posits that people use media to satisfy specific needs, use and gratification. So football fandom provides entertainment, escapism, community, groupthink, what I just said, and more. So the media, of course, taps into these human needs with their football coverage. And it aims to maximize viewership, revenue via those strategic programs and engagement. And I'm not saying it's not good. I mean, I'm not saying the programming is not good. I'm just saying that's what they're doing. Yeah, for example, you don't just have the football match itself. You have like the coverage around it, right? And for example, CBS, it's a fantastic job. Thierry Henry is fantastic. Now, her name just slipped, the lady that said she works for Fox while she was on CBS, which was hilarious. So they're great. It's great entertainment. They're funny. They're insightful. Some more, some less. Hey, Micah. But it's great. But it's all part of this. We need to maximize the content we're getting, the time the audience spends with us, the amount of money we're making. Okay, so that's all at the center. And hand in hand with that is one of our favorite theories that we discussed many times here as well, the agenda setting theory. Okay, we know already that agenda setting notes how media highlights like certain topics or narratives, like that try to influence the public focus, right? So for example, here, football, transfer gossips, league standings, player drama. Yeah, football coverage sets specific agendas for fans to follow. Cristiano, even Ronaldo, not in the Champions League, but Cristiano Ronaldo now playing for Al Hilal, I think, or Messi in the MLS, right? So, will the Asian Champions League now be a competitor to the UEFA Champions League, for example? Yeah, those are all agendas that are being set by the production companies, houses, by Champions League, by UEFA, right? Why? Well, several reasons, obviously. One, UEFA and all the clubs involved benefit from us spending more time on them / with them, obviously. Now, I'm not going to go into too many conspiracy theories, but, and that's how it starts, right? Follow my full episode on Rumble. I'm kidding. I'm just making one point. Of course, politics are also happy that if you're focusing on football, we don't focus on other things, but I'll leave it at that, right? But I think that makes sense. If you focus on one thing, you can't focus on the other things. Yeah, so, as you know, even if you don't know, you hear it from my accent, I'm from Germany. And when the World Cup was in Germany, for example, everyone was super happy, like, hey, cool, World Cup fever. Oh, yeah, we're so awesome. Everyone loves Germans. Oh, yeah, nice. And while we were in that World Cup fever, the politics like made some regulatory changes, for example, some changes in some of the laws. I'm again not going into details, but that's always what's happening. So distraction is good, is what I'm saying. Yeah, the rest is going to be on Rumble, so I'm not going into that. And no, I'm not on Rumble, I'm joking, right? But that's enough. So agenda setting, okay? So we obsess over storylines. The media elevates through this relentless coverage, right? More highlights, more YouTube clips, and so on, which gives them like outsized importance. Because who really cares, to be honest, who's going to be who really cares who's going to be the 37th new player for Chelsea? Sorry, people. But you see, even though while I'm joking, you see what I'm saying, right? Okay. Since we're like on the theories right now, another theory is, and I didn't note this one down, but it just popped to my head, so I want to talk about it. The gatekeeping theory. Okay, so there's the gatekeeping theory, which talks about media control. Okay, so it says like a few elite right holders, they dominate access to clubs, for example. They decide how matches are covered through like approved narratives and announcers. So they They say which channels can broadcast, for example, right? Of course, it's a money thing. You have to buy the rights, but they can say, no, you don't get the rights, for example, right? And they also can say who they like as announcers, who they don't like as announcers, and so on. So they can shape like the narrative pretty well, actually. Okay. So, this gatekeeping gives them like framing power over football communications, if you will. So they can decide what messages are included, what messages are excluded, what stories get spotlighted in media access they control. We had it in the World Cup as well, for example, right? Of course, Qatar didn't want to hear about those human rights abuses and so on. And if commentators or like reporters talked about it, they got kicked out, they got banned, for example, right? So, and I'm not saying the UEFA is banning people who talk about human rights right now. Who knows? We wouldn't know because they got banned. Joking. But they do have influence, of course, over the narratives that get out, obviously, right? So again, gatekeeping gives you framing power. And I mean, if you have the power, why wouldn't you use it? Okay. So again, those rights holders, right? They advance or their incentives, like showcasing like partner sponsors, for example, throughout the broadcasting. Obviously, right? So the gates are locked for messages counter to revenue goals, risk exclusion if you want to, right? Yeah. Okay, I only have one more theory that I've written down. So this one I've written down while the gatekeeping just popped to my head. But this one I wanted to discuss with you. The public sphere theory is also part of it, of course, right? Public sphere theory and social media, obviously, right? So public sphere theory notes how media provides space for public expression, okay? So while access is restricted, of course, social media expands the fans' ability, of course, to discuss, debate, create memes, spread ideas, anything related to your favorite team and so on, right? And so this outpouring of discourse from all different corners of the fan base aligns with like this emerging public sphere theory, yeah. And the dynamics for this public sphere theory to succeed are in this case enabled through technology. So all those hot takes on Reddit, for example, great, because chaos reigns supreme, and that goes hand in hand with what we discussed before. Of course, all the clubs, the UEFA, FIFA down the road too with the World Cup and so on, they want people to talk about it. They love the chaos in terms of we making up conspiracy theories, transfer stories and whatnot, because it means we're engaged, we keep talking about it, we keep spreading messages about it, and we're not focusing on anything else. Okay, so that's the public sphere theory together with social media. So we have this public sphere where we can engage, and because, well, it's pretty close, of course, like you cannot just walk into a football club and say, hey, I have an idea. Social media opens the gates more for us to discuss all those things. And of course, football clubs and promotions organizations and so on are very, very happy about that. All right, because they also monetize it, of course, right? Creating more content that fuels into that public sphere, into the discussions in the public sphere. So putting out more content, you're like, hey, have you seen that video? They said this. Oh my God, how outrageous. And then it continues. Now, how can we reclaim football's soul is the question. Now, obviously, the commercialization of football cannot be reversed entirely. Obviously not, right? I think we can reclaim parts of it, though. We can reclaim parts of football's soul. Yet, if you advocate for like cultural authenticity, for example, and community-driven clubs over corporations. The question is, can we do that? Are we willing to do it? Are we willing to say no to an oil billionaire to come and say, hey, I'm going to buy your club, I'm going to bring in 5 of the best players in the world, and we will win the Premier League, the Bundesliga, whatever, and we will dominate in the Champions League? Are we willing to say, no, we don't want that, we want our culture in the club? Or will we be blinded by the promises and be like, yeah, I want to see my club do well in the Champions League for once, just for once. I want to play for a title just once. I want to have that feeling of success. What you going to do when the oil billionaire with the bags full of money come for you. So in closing, like modern football fandom, right, requires reconciling passion with sober cultural analysis. That's how we could get something done. But you got to keep this conversation going. You got to keep this conversation going, dream of better possibilities, and not get blinded by short-term success or short-term promises even. Okay? So until next time, you Champions League addicts and you Europa League fans, let me know what you think. Like, which pill would you take? Oil billions or cultural values? What would you go for? And who says that oil millions or like just millions in general make you happy? Chelsea, for example, right? So who knows? But so let me know your thoughts, okay? Keep the ball rolling at FunkedPod on social media, funkedpod@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, leave some reviews. That's very helpful, and we can reach even those people who aren't in the Champions League of podcasts, but also are in the Europa League of podcasts. One last time, love you all, even if you're a Liverpool fan. Stay safe, take care. We talk soon. Sawadee.